Hello, in this, I will go over the weapons that I think are still worth getting now. I will not be covering all worthy weapons here, just the more noteworthy sets. Some things to note: base attack for weapons of similar levels are generally not different enough to make much impact. Also, type and max HP passives on equips are additive in general, like weapon type is additive with Grastum max HP shares. And because type and max HP equips are pretty common, the type bonuses from weapons are pretty much diluted to a way lower value. As a general rule, make sure the DPS is able to crit for attacks, which is more important than any other weapon bonuses listed here. For specifics on how to get each weapon, please check the wiki, as I will not go over those in detail here. I will start from the weapons that's available very early on and still usable by late game. The prismatic weapons you can get from the Complex Dream collab are some of the best weapons in general. They give critical rate and has high magic attack stats, which is a damage buff for all elemental physical attacks. Higher magic attack also increases damage on weakness hits for physical attackers. They also give good speed stats, making them useful weapons even for your supports. You don't have to fight any super bosses to get them, just need to run the collab a few times to get them all. Later in the game, you can also reforge them to further strengthen them. The reforge makes them much stronger in Slash Magic Zones, which is the zone set by the main character of this collab. The reforge is less useful for blunt or pierce weapons, because you obviously shouldn't be using those in a Slash Magic Zone normally. Manifest weapons are personal weapons, but not everyone has them. Characters with manifest weapons will need to equip them to get enhanced skills, so manifests are usually their best in slot if they have one. But most manifest weapon-only characters are outdated. Besides the last few, like Eva, and Eva doesn't care much for her enhanced skills. Characters with true manifest do not need to equip their manifest weapons for skills, so we just ignore those too. The latest update to these are the temper weapons, and similar to true manifests, they do not need to be equipped. Temper weapons, however, can be customized with tail gems for specific bonuses. So if you do farm tail gems, temper weapons can become the specific character's best weapon. But even the most optimized tempered weapons aren't much better than other standard weapons, so it's more of a late-game farming thing for veteran players. You can get the mono weapons from various Astral Archive challenges early on too. They are mainly used for the MP restore after battle, which makes them useful for mob clearing early on. You will get many other ways to mob clear without MP cost as you progress, so they will be phased out eventually. Scar weapons are for setting pain status on enemies. You equip these on supports. You can also get these early on from Astral Archives. Pain setting is more a thing for boss fights, especially late game when you often don't want to waste skill slots to set pain. Pain status itself does little, it's more for enabling pain Grasta effects or some specific skills. The pain set rate isn't 100%, but it's often enough to set pain with these from multiple attacks in AF. The Lunar weapons are one of the best speed weapons around. They also apply resistance shred for the lunar elements, thunder, shade, and crystal. You can get them in the City of Lost Paradise, another dungeon, after fully finishing the Song of Sword and Wings mythos. Later on, you will be able to reforge these weapons with materials from the Jasmine, another dungeon. The reforged versions give even more speed, increased resistance shred, and also extends character lunatic durations. The Void weapons were the first 100% critical rate weapons. You will need to get the Mayaki and Dark Spirit weapons first before getting access to these. Once you have the other two weapon sets, do the puzzle pieces set in Nazarick and fight the bosses to get these. They also have a reforge option, but the reforged versions aren't really much of an improvement. Muja weapons can be got from challenging Ukweji in the Space-Time Rift. Overthrow increases damage scaling to enemy levels, and they do stack within battle overthrow buffs without diminishing. The second passive increases damage with turns passed, meaning up to 50% more damage after 10 turns. A very strong weapon if battles take many turns, and the character has no need for critical rate passives. Elpis are arguably the best weapons in the game. You get them from doing quests and bounties in 3.x into the Hollow Vaporia maps. They increase damage scaling to enemy levels, and they do stack within battle overthrow buffs without diminishing. A lot of bosses are level 120, which is a unique 45% increase in damage. Just note that they do nothing for low-level enemies, which are pretty common in Astral Archives, for example. Mechani weapons are great for first move priority in battle. These can be crafted repeatedly, and you can make as many of them as you need. Eclipse weapons are similar to Mechani, useful for priority in battle. But note you need to at least +1 these for the first action preemptive passive. OOP weapons are good for their enhanced combo rates, which is only applicable in AF. Note that you need to at least +1 the weapon for the combo rate increase. These are good to use on supports that do multi-hits because high AF combo percent increases damage. Transient weapons can be gotten from the Eastern mythos via crafting. They give the character a skill to bind a random skill slot. When bind, the character does 75% more damage. This does not stack with the Grasta ore or similar equips. It's a huge increase but uses up one skill slot and is also random in which skill it seals up. An extreme weapon which is best in slot for some fights, but just too random for most players to use. In general, there are some things you always want for the team when considering weapons. Number 1, the DPS must always be hitting critical. Number 2, you want as much speed as possible on supports most of the time. Those two rules are the basis for picking weapons, even if you are so early you don't have access to all the weapons. Thanks for watching.